Drogba indirdi ceza alan Snyder. Snyder gol! Allah'ım gol! Muslera! Fernando Muslera! Golün adı Muslera! Sarıyoglu, Drogba! This is incredible!
Merhaba and welcome to episode 7 of The Lion's Den, a Galatasaray podcast done by the community for the community. From all around the world, I'm your host and we have gathered here today from New York, America, Angry Yasin. How's your Turkish temper, bro?
Much better today, bro. Finally got the 3 points, so I can only stay angry for so long, right?
Hell yeah. Chief Editor Emre, how's the editing going?
It's a one-time thing. Don't expect it again. But
No,
I'm doing good.
You're doing it tonight as well, bro.
I'm doing good. I'm happy we got the 3 points as well. Finally, about time.
Alright. From Flatlands, the Netherlands, historian Salih. You got any new facts for us, Salih?
Hey, what's up, everyone? Yes, another week, another fact. And this fact is about the Canary Islands from Spain. Because did you know that the islands were not named after the bird, but rather after the Latin word for dog, which is Canaria?
Dog Islands. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty sick.
Are there a lot of
Not gonna
dogs
lie.
over there?
I have no clue. It was given by apparently the first Europeans to arrive there during Roman times, I would assume. But I
Okay,
have no
never
idea
mind.
why they
It's
gave
fine.
the name.
Never mind.
Too
Let's
much
not go
history
into-
for my liking.
Yeah. And from all across the world, from down under Melbourne, Australia, Crocodile Mazar. How are your kangaroos doing, bro?
My kangaroos are fine, bro. They're just jumping up and down in the backyard. I fed them just before the match. They're happy. They're asking about you,
Nice.
actually.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm scared of kangaroos, man. It's trauma. All right. Saving last for best, I would say normally. However, last episode, I forgot to mention Coach John, and I broke his heart, so he's not joining today. In reality, he's actually he's coaching, so he won't be here today. So, thanks for the quick, short answers, my brethrens. So, to all our listeners, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. Today's podcast menu consists of, as usual, we will cover recent news. We will discuss the Goztepe performance, our first win, finally. And ahead of next week's game against Rizespor, we will give our predictions, as usually. Yep. So, we'll quickly move on to recent news. My wonderful color rocks. I've gathered quite some news. I'll start off with saying Bülent Korkmaz officially signed with Rizespor. Before him was
Ooh.
that's a tough one to take for Galatasaray fans. And previously, Hamza Hamzoğlu was coaching there, and he got sacked. So that's an update. One I was surprised to see fly under the radar was a Singapore-established Bitcoin exchange, BitGet, signed a sponsorship deal with Galatasaray, apparently. And another thing I wanted to mention is a rumor. Alexandru Chikuldao, he's apparently wanted by Sampdoria, so that's interesting as well.
UN Name Summit.
Yeah, come on. I'm still better than most of you, I think, with names, so.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, we'll see.
And then we have Valentine Ozonwafor, who's loaned to Sporting Charleroi, and he actually fainted twice during a game after receiving an elbow in the neck from Dante Venzier from Royal Union Saint Gillois, who is a colleague of Deniz Undav as well. If you might recall that Stefan Kuntz, Turkish national team coach, actually wanted to call him up. But the most surprising thing out of all is nothing from Galatasaray, nothing from the club, no get well wishes. And if you look at the video, which is also on our Twitter page, at the Lions Den GS, if you want to check, It's pretty harsh, man. It's pretty harsh. Have you guys seen that video?
Yes.
Yes.
It looked intentional.
Oh yeah, almost racist, I'd say.
Did he get sent off after that? I think he did.
Yeah,
He did.
he got
He
red.
got a red card. Straight. Deserved as well.
Well deserved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and another thing I'm actually a bit sad about is Adana Demirspor, the president Murat Sancak. He said a lot of things against the press, a lot of things, unacceptable things, if you ask me. And from TFF, we still have not heard anything, like zero consequences for that guy, for all that talk he did. It's still surprising to me. I mean, Emre, you you can talk on and on about that probably.
Yeah, you can give me like a whole episode. It won't be enough.
Yeah, yeah, he's just connected. That's what people saying. So let's leave it at that. And then we have yeah. Well, I'm happy we got our win, but before our win, yesterday, 24 hours before the game, we had Arda Turan, Mert Çetin, Necati Ateş, Şükrü Hanedar. They all visited Terim, which is fine. They can go and visit Terim. That's perfectly fine. And afterwards, they posted pictures, all of them. And this
One
caused,
by one.
Yeah, it's caused a pretty big uproar on Twitter Space. What did you think about that, Yasin?
Not a fan of it. I think I think our players just try and stay away from social media as much as they can in recent times because we're not doing well. There's a lot of pressure. Any small picture or caption could be interpreted the wrong way, and attacks could be made towards our players, whether they deserve it or not. But to see so many of these players like Arda and our ex-coaches like Necati Ateş post a picture with Terim the day before a game when all this is going on, I'm not a fan of it. Interestingly, they asked Torrent about it after the game today too. I'm looking at Twitter right now. They said Arda Turan he was not in the team today. He posted a picture with Terim. What do you think about it? And Dominic Torrent said Morutan and Alparslan were also not in the squad. They can post any pictures they want. They can share these photos however they want. So it seems like he's not bothered by it. And even if he is, I'm happy to see that he's not making or giving, I guess, the press something to talk about. So I like how he handled that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I feel like Necati and Şükrü, they can post all they want. They're not part of the team anymore. But you're Arda Turan. You're like basically the captain of the team. You don't go and do that the day before a game. Because let's say we lose the game. What happens then? There's going to be more chaos.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna be like, oh, you did it on purpose, or you're getting into our players' minds and stuff like that. You're trying to sabotage the team. Like everything can be said about it. You can do it after we win, but you don't do that before. You're the captain of this team. You don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Some tinfoil conspiracy theorists even said they're already preparing for Dominic to leave and come back. Nerede kalmıştık?
Yeah. I have to agree with Emre over here that indeed that the fact that Necati did it or Mert, I don't really care about that. But the fact that Arda did it, like first after a bad performance, he tweets or puts an Insta post on why he's so valuable to the team and why we shouldn't criticize him as much because I've meant so much for this team, etc. And then now that he's out of the out of the bench, he's like complete out of the squad. Now he does that. Leaves a sour taste in my mouth, not gonna lie. I'm not a fan of it either. I don't think he should have done that. It's not smart. It doesn't add anything.
There's two sides to it, one side, you shouldn't do that right before the game. On the other side, it's his personal life. He can do whatever he wants, right? We shouldn't be affected by it.
He knew what he was doing, though. He knew what he was doing.
It is his personal life. Yeah, exactly. It is his personal life, but then just don't share it on social media. You know what it can do. Like, just skip that part. Just keep it personal.
I think
that's what I would do.
It's about intent, and I don't think he's done. He's been around for way longer. He's not born yesterday. Let's put it that way.
Exactly.
So he knows
what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing. They know what it means posting those pics. So anyway, we shouldn't talk too much about that. So I think another important thing we should introduce is Pasquale Sensibile, our new sporting director. I'll basically give a few info about him, and then we can check how you feel about him. Pasquale Sensibile, 50 years old. He was born September 18th in Lecce, Italia. His father, Aldo Sensibile, was also a football player who played for Lecce and also Roma in the 60s, and apparently was an assistant manager for Napoli eventually. But more on Pasquale. His resume looks like in 2003, he ended his football career at Prosesto, basically Serie C, very low. And right after that, in 2004, started working there as sports manager, not sportive director necessarily. And then a year later, he continues to do the same function for Hellas Verona. And in 2016, then takes on a job at Juventus as head of player monitoring or chief observer, whatever they call it. And this was when Juventus got relegated due to the match fixing allegations. The club was then promoted back the following season. They had some successes there. And Sensibile was at the heart of all this when it happened. His first time actually staying at more than 1 year was at Juventus. And then, in 2 years, so in 2018, he got fired from Juventus. I don't know the specifics about that. Would have to check further. And then 2009, he joined Palermo as sportive director for the first time. Then goes a year later to Novara, a year later to Sampdoria. 2012, he seems to have taken a year off. I don't know why. 2013, he went to Mantova. And finally, he went to the club where his father dropped his sweat and tears at Roma. As a scout, nonetheless, this time. And again, for 2 years here at Roma. And then in 2016, he's sportive director again for Trapani. And the year after for Alessandria. And comes back in 2018 as a scout at Roma. And then it's 2019 already. And that was the last of his resume. So he was 2 years, he didn't have anything. And now he's at Galatasaray. I think those are mainly the points I had looked up about him. Interesting fact also is Sensibile was also a midfielder as a football player. As you recall, Torrent was also a midfielder. And I checked this as well. And Luis Campos was also a midfield player. You guys think this is going to fix our midfield problem, or are we going to put them in the midfield?
They should play themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, after Thailand and Berkan fiasco.
They'll be better than Thailand, that's for sure.
But did you guys know this stuff about Pasquale? What do you think about him? Mazar, I think that's a cue for you now.
I actually never heard of him before we announced him. He was kind of under the radar doing some stuff in Italy. I don't really follow Serie A, so that explains why I didn't hear of him. But scout for Roma. He's got a decent resume, I guess. Let's just see what he does as sporting director. When was the last time we did have a sporting?
Ups and downs.
Yeah, it's a bit. I don't want to say that, but not crazily impressive. He's not as impressive as Luis Campos or anything like that.
Yeah, definitely.
It's our first sporting director in a long time as well, isn't it? When was the last time we had a sporting director?
Not for a while. I think Cenk Ergün was our last sporting director under
there you go.
Dursun, fortunately.
Let's see how it plays out.
Yeah, his resume is indeed like pretty up and down, and from what you've just told us, is he hasn't really been with a club for like a very long time, mostly a year it seems.
Yeah. So, he seems like a proper job hopper. I don't know if you can rely. Yeah, I don't know if you can rely on someone that switches from club to club every year or two. I don't know. What do you think, Yasin?
I agree with you guys. You know, the constant job switching doesn't look good. If he was really great at his job, you know, if he's gonna switch jobs, it would be to like a bigger club, a more notable club. Otherwise, if they're happy with him, they would have kept him for longer. But apart from all this criticism, I do want to say something positive, or at least try to look at it a positive way. One thing that Burak Elmas and the board have been trying to do, whether you can critique it being successful or not, and I guess time will tell, is the fact that we are bringing guys for specific jobs at the club. Before we had Fatih Terim, who was excellent at his job in many different ways, but he was wearing a lot of different hats. And I think for anybody to wear a lot of different hats at a huge club like Galatasaray can be overwhelming. You know, Fatih Terim was a guy who spoke for us on behalf of calls against us, who was part of the recruiting team, was part of the coaching staff, the technical director, all this. We're at least bringing guys now, and this guy was recommended from Campos. So I have to trust the process a little bit. I will hold my opinions for the summer and see how that goes, because if the summer transfer window is a failure, this is one guy that we can look to and say, look, you know, he didn't do a great job, along with Campos, along with Torrent. So it makes it a little bit more clear for us to say, okay, sporting director, he's a guy who's going to be helping with transfers, at least the foreign ones. Let's see how that goes. So let's see how things go. I don't want to judge a guy based off of his history, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can criticize the guy's resume a lot, actually. And when I was doing the research, I was a bit worried because, you know, I've said this countless of times. I like stability, and I liked that we have a plan. And we should stick to that and not rinse and repeat, fire him, hire a new guy. And like you said, it was Burak Elmas at the top, hierarchically, and underneath him was Fatih Terim, and then the rest. That's it, basically. Now what we're seeing is we are abolishing basically that old school abiler, we love Gala, and yeğenim gelsen seni işe alayım type of stuff. And we're doing something more professional, right? You got Burak Elmas, he got his advisor, Luis Campos, who brought in Pasquale Sensibile. And Pasquale Sensibile is going to be communicating a lot with Dominic Torrent, right? To get that whole strategy going. Mm-hmm. So I like this a lot. And it's professional. And that's what we need. We need to change that. But will it work in Turkey? I don't know. You have the Ali Koç examples that people are always talking about. That's not working. Giving as an example. In this culture in Turkey, I don't know if that's going to work, especially if the sportive director has only been holding jobs for 1 year every season.
I think the max I saw was 2 years with Juve from 2006 to 2008.
Yeah, and that's when they got relegated, which we are kind of in a position
for match
to
fixing too. So that's not a good look on your, resume.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we will see further. I don't know what you think about all that, Salih.
I mean, I already mentioned before how his resume indeed doesn't look too good, and the restructuring part. I think I mentioned it on the WhatsApp group as well. Like, it is something like what a more modern club usually does. Just relieve some extra hats, as Yasin said before, from our head coach. Basically, just make him a head coach instead of like a complete manager. However, just like the manager assignment, doing this whole restructuring thing in the middle of the season, I mean, we've fallen pretty far down already. But it's risky, but I guess it had to be done. It's just because it's in the middle of the season, I don't know how it will work out. I don't know if this guy will still be with us within 6 months. And just like you said before, I prefer stability as well. And if we're gonna keep changing these guys over and over again, I'm just really afraid that'll happen. So, and what can I say? I hope the best, and just see it out, in the summer.
Yeah. So you also are of that opinion. No, that's what Yasin mentioned. Let's see in the summer. Let's see what kind of connections these guys have. I'm sure they have a lot of connections, and they will bring a lot of transfers. Let's hope for that we don't wait last minute again, as usual. So
it's finally going to be nice not seeing someone like Abdurrahim Aybarek like doing the transfers for once, we're finally getting some professionalism, So one of the biggest reasons we had to, get Falcao, because he accidentally sent a photo with him, and then the fans got all riled up. And then, bam, you're paying $5 million a year for a striker that's so like injury prone. GG's, you know. It'd be nice to finally have some professional people in our club. That's the only thing I'm looking forward to.
To give some credit to Abdullah Albayrak, I think the one thing he was good at is making sure the players are comfortable and attending to all their needs. I think that was his main function as well. Aside from
that's
all
what he should have been, not going and negotiating players. That's like,
yeah, he was a bit picture savvy, Instagram taught for sure. But yeah, what can we do?
Even in his interviews, he would say some dumb stuff that would get us into some heat.
Welcome to Turkey.
Oh.
Yeah. Maz, did you have any other news that you saw that you want to discuss?
I think you've gone through everything. I think you've gone through just about everything, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You guys want to start talking about the game?
Yeah, I think that's fine. So we played against Goztepe today, and we won. Finally, I can't believe it. Actually won. Holy shit. When was the last time we won, Salih?
Yes. When looking at some stats, our last away win was 141 days ago. It was against Rizespor, that famous 2-3 with a late winner from Morutan. With that Jagner run, I think we all remember that, how he went past like 2-3 players.
Oh, he smashed everyone to the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
2-3 players.
What was it? 90 plus 11 minutes or so.
Damn.
So yeah, crazy if you think about it, because that was in the beginning of October, I believe. So it's been a solid 4 months. Is that? Yeah, about 4 or 5 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Playing Riza again already.
True.
Been that long since our last win. Oh my god.
Yeah, against Bülent Korkmaz, nonetheless.
Yeah, right. That as well.
We didn't really talk about that, but yeah.
Salih, first XY, how did we start against Goztepe?
First 11, so yeah, we had 5 changes from last time in our first 11. Most of us started over Gomis, which I was fine with, to be honest. We had Halil at 10 over Faguli, Pulgar taking over Berkan, Ömer taking over Van Aanel's position, and Omar having his first start in over, what is it, like 400 days over Sasha Boye. Some other notable stuff that has been mentioned before. Arda was again not on the bench, and surprisingly Mortan wasn't taken along with our comp cadre as well.
Mm-hmm. One thing I wanted to say, Omar's last game with us was in 2020, dudes. And that was against away game against Trabzonspor. It's been like 2 years since he played football, basically, which is interesting.
Technically 2 years ago, that's true. But day-wise, it's just a bit over a year ago.
Yeah,
right?
it was 2021 New Year's when he had his incident.
Exactly.
Yeah, true. Maz, maybe Maz, what did you think about Morutan not being in today's
It was pretty surprising, to be honest. And I'd rather say Morutan over Babel any day of the week, to be honest.
Exactly.
I don't know what to say. Like we won. Like, I don't want to be sad. I don't want to be like crying here, but I really want to see Morutan over Babel. Morutan has a high ceiling for potential, and I feel like it's.
Didn't we have a whole discussion last week about this?
Yeah, we'll have another one.
We did.
We'll have another one.
Still happened.
If we need to, we'll have another one until
I'm still in favor. I'm still in favor of Babel. I think he did a good job today. So.
I did not see that. I don't know what Summit's watching or where he's watching it from.
That's a hot take.
Maybe,
or what he's watching it with.
It's because
maybe he was on medication again.
Yeah. No. I'm not.
Maybe
drunk.
you should go back on medication.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe.
Well, what about you, Yasin? Morutan not being in today?
It's very surprising. Even though I understand why he might not start or why he shouldn't start. Not including him in the squad is not going to be good for his morale. It's already quite shit, I think, the whole team. But to not include a guy that you spent a few mil on in the squad, I don't understand it. I don't want to think too much about it. Let's see what happens going forward. Sometimes players need a little bit of a timeout to gather themselves mentally. Maybe Torrent saw that Morotan was not there, and he said, okay, take a break. We also have a lot of foreigners back and healthy too. So sometimes you have to pick somebody to sit out. We've seen it in the past with even worse situations. The whole Linus thing during winter break. Fatih Terim and Galatasaray, we had to put Linus' contract on freeze for 6 months because we didn't have room for him at all. So these things happen time to time. I wish it would have been Babal over Modotan for sure. But I can't really say much else. It's surprising and I was not happy about it.
Thanks, Yasin, for giving us that resting time with your long-ass speeches.
Wow, okay.
Not that I mind. It's appreciated for sure. I'm just saying it's a good thing. It's a good thing. We get a breather.
I guess you want anger Yasin and his temper back. Is that what it is?
No. My ear canals are messed up last time because of that. So.
Okay.
Salih, I'm gonna make you the main match performance guy today, as we don't have Coach Can unfortunately with us. So go ahead, give your overview of the game today. What did you like? What you didn't like?
Okay, man, a lot of pressure now. Okay, let's see. First some stats before the match even begun. Even after this match, we still have no clean sheet. That's our 9th in a row actually. We did meet Goztepe in a favorable time. Favorable in that they have lost every game in February, while in the month before they won pretty much every other game. They've been it just has not been clicking for them. But on the other hand, just like with us, it hasn't been clicking with us for a very long time, so I guess that equaled each other out. What I found of the first half, it was, I don't know, man, I wish John was here to preach possession-based football, because man, did we not have any possession. We had 29% of the ball. I think what Torrent had in mind, honestly, and I'm trying to justify this low amount of possession, I think we tried to play on the counter. Because we kept Halil, I think it was Halil, Kerem and Mostafa up high pretty much, and the rest all the way in the back. We were defending with quite a lot of men. Mm-hmm. It's just very risky. I don't know why we did it that way. We did score early, which I liked from the free kick, right? Which I also didn't expect. I was just eating dinner and suddenly Nelson put one in the back of the net. But besides that, we just didn't have the ball, so we couldn't create anything, and any long of through ball we tried to make just didn't connect. I think our pass accuracy for that game was also around 60 or 70%, which is really below level. For an elite team in Turkey, should be at least 85%, I would say. So, first half, it was just in general not good. I don't think anyone would say we played well. So, I wonder what you have to say, or the others, but
I think from my side, I agree with you on that first half. What I saw personally, indeed we were trying a more defensive approach. We had Omar, Nelson, Marcao, and Ömer Bayram in the back, and you had Pulgar and Taylan right in front of them, and they were keeping those those spaces so tight. There was no midfield. We had no midfielders. You had Babel on the right, Kerem on the left, Momo up top, and then this lost chicken head kid, Halil. I don't know where he was, but he was not on the 10 position, if you ask me. So that's the main thing what I noticed, and I already could see after that lucky goal that we had. Okay, let's say they practiced the free kicks and stuff like that, and they got the goal like that. But after that, I knew that 1-1 was coming sooner or later, because Goztepe was pressing, and we couldn't get out of it because we had no midfield to do anything with that. Pulgar and Taylan, both very defensive. Taylan originally being not a defensive midfielder. I think he's completely adapted to defensive midfielder, because he doesn't get to the front at all. only to the back, not to the front. So first half wise, I think that's my view. I didn't like the football we played today. I think it was one of the worst football we played this season. We have, well, I think the players are trying to adjust to Dominic Torrent's vision and his system and play, but they can't yet. That's clearly obvious because it was so chaotic. So I wasn't happy with that. I think, not to talk about Terim, but I think even though Terim built the team and he might have done a shitty job building the team, he still got the best out of each player. We got into a lot of positions. We were very good defensively, but stupid ass mistakes from individuals like Thailand and Ömer,
Just
you
like
cannot
this game.
fix. Yeah, just like this game. Some things are consistent for sure since Terim left.
Mhm.
So that's a bit my take on it. I don't think we had any subs, right, in the second half when we started.
No, we didn't.
we
Not
didn't.
right away, no.
I just want to
Um,
touch up on what you're saying. We played like shit. I feel like we played like we had to play in order to get 3 points because
No.
I don't think
No.
I don't think you can play his system just yet. You doesn't have enough time, and you have to play to get the points because listen, we need the points. If you keep brute forcing the play style or whatever kind of play style he has in mind, it's gonna take the players time. And right now we do not have the luxury of losing points. So I think that's
Mhm.
one of the reasons why we played such chaotic football. I think he just went for the more, like the route that would get him the most success, and that's going more defensive. And it's known that if you play defensive football, you're more likely to get a point, if not more, right? But
It's a relegation type tactic. Indeed.
Exactly,
Like our
that's what
defense
I'm
line was
saying.
very much in the back, not
Eat
the
the
toss that
ball.
you would see any season.
Exactly.
yeah.
In his mind was just eat the ball up the field and let whatever happen happen. I think his biggest mistake was trusting Ömer and Thailand in this team because, like you said, there was no midfield and they just kept coming. Eventually, they brute forced the mistake on us twice and twice in the same spot. The same thing happened. Both hands from Ömer's side. So
Just to add on that defensive football, right? So in the first half we had around 65 accurate passes, which is a 57% were accurate, which is very low, but half of those were long balls. We had 33 long balls. I mean, not that any of them connected, only 5 did, but yeah, indeed, we just played very defensively, had a very low back line, and we just yeeted the ball long over the top, but as we saw, it didn't really bring us much. But after that, we just conceded that stupid pen from the two players we all like most, probably. So
Yeah. What did you think about Pena this game, Mazar, and then after maybe Yasin?
He had some really good saves, in my opinion, especially in the first few minutes there when they were really attacking down the wings. He had some good saves, one of which I think the first one he saved. I think it was in the first minute. I don't think any other keeper would have saved that except for Muslera. I wouldn't trust Fatih Öztürk or Ismail Çepi for that. He was really good. He was definitely a good transfer to make. I know in the transfer window, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, what's the point in transferring this guy? Like he's only for 6 months. We're gonna get Muslera soon." I think we really needed him, honestly, and I think we still do need him until Muslera comes back. Because this way, we're not rushing Muslera, and he's gonna come back 100% healthy, hopefully.
I don't know. I think it's still a bit off, man. I mean, Muslera is back. He can play. Why did we ever transfer this kid?
He's back, but can he play?
Yeah, okay, but I'm not saying he's bad, but the only thing I hate about Pena is he's not steady with the ball. Like what I mean is when he gets the ball, he always has 2 touches. He doesn't get it at once. And that's what I'm mostly annoyed about.
can't hold on to the ball either. Like whenever it's in the air, he just always punches it out. Never holds on to it.
Yeah. At least he gets a touch on it.
Yeah.
Ismail
would just miss it completely.
Exactly. It's something.
he has no arms, bro. So yeah.
It's like see-through arms, bro. It doesn't exist.
What did you think, Yasin, about Pena?
It's interesting you say that because I kind of thought the opposite. I was actually going to say Pena is maybe now the 3rd goalkeeper in this league in recent history where I actually feel comfortable with, not just for my team, but that exerts confidence and comfort. The first one is obviously Muslera. Second one is Uğurcan Çakır at Trabzonspor, and Peña for, a new guy coming in during this atmosphere. I think he exerts that confidence and comfort. Yes, maybe, he's taking 2 or 3 touches instead of 1. He's a goalkeeper, Samet. He's not fucking, Xavi in the midfield where he's going to do one-touch passes all the time. He's going to get the ball, and he looks for those passes. He takes his time to make that pass forward if that's what he's planning to do. When he gets the ball, just like Muslera, as soon as he catches that ball, he's running to the end of the 18-yard line, looking where he can pass the ball to. I kind of like that. I'm not here trying to tell you that he's the next big thing, but in the short period of time that we've seen him, where our entire team is just lacking confidence, he gives me a different energy that I appreciate, and it's worth pointing out. I like it. And as for the Muslera thing, we don't know when Muslera is going to come back fully healthy. Yeah, we saw him in training, but that doesn't mean he's ready to go.
Your opinion is obsolete since you said that Uğurcan Çakır is what you're comfortable with.
Uğurcan is goated.
Are you kidding me, bro?
It's really good.
Are you a Trabzonspor, bro?
I'm about to isolate all your opinions on goalies, bro. What? Dude, Uğurcan Çakır is the best goalie in this league right now.
This is a Galatasaray podcast. Please.
It's a objective Galatasaray podcast of people who watch the league, right? I have to give credit to Uğurcan where it's due. But anyways, now I lost track because you called me out for Uğurcan Çakır.
You were talking about Peña. But is it really a controversial opinion that you think? Personally, I also feel comfortable with Peña in goal. Yes, it's very early still. And save-wise, he did have some good saves, but it's not like Goztepe had 10 shots on goal. But yeah, from what I've seen so far, I do feel comfortable with him. He seems calm, composed, good with his feet. Yes, he might take an extra touch, but just like Jas said before, he's not a midfielder or an actual player. He's a keeper in the end.
Might be even better as a midfielder. I like him.
And about the Muslera thing, just like we saw last time when he was injured, right after his injury, he was a bit shaky in the beginning though. He did make an error here, left and right. Again, occasionally he's still very good, obviously, but I don't know. I like Peña. I think it's a good smart loan transfer. He has a point to prove. He wants to become the second goalie, so he's not gonna slack off. He's not why have I ended up here? He's gonna try to prove himself. And so far, so good, I would say.
Yeah, Summit, it's thinking like yours is why we're in the situation we're in today, bro.
Come on, please.
Holy crap.
No, listen to me. I have to make a point because
fired.
You annoyed me with that comment. Oh, why did we get Peña? Why did we get Peña? Because Muslera's plan B and C is İsmail Çipe and Fatih Öztürk. This is Galatasaray, bro. We would all argue the best team, best club in the world, in the league, all that, right? You can't have your second goalie, İsmail Çipe. Muslera is a human being. He can get hurt. He plays a professional sport that has conduct, that every single forward in the league is on his ass when he's trying to make a save. Injuries happen, and they've happened recently. Why did we get Peña? Because of this, bro. If İsmail Çipe was in goal today, maybe he wouldn't have made that one save on the upper left corner where he,
Very good point.
That's one. It could be. It could have been other situations too, and that could be the difference between 3 points today or 1 or 0. When your goalie, bro, you've all played football, whether it's Sunday league or with your friends at the park or on a more competitive level. If your goalie or any player on your position makes a dumb mistake and it costs you a goal, that ruins your morale. That ruins the whole team, and sometimes you can't get your stuff together and score goals. If your goalie is İsmail Çipe and he's making mistakes and you go from 1-0 to 1-1 because of that, bruh, I can't imagine the rest of that game. So that's why we got Peña. That's why we got Peña. It
constantly happens every other game.
Yeah, that's all I had to say. You can say what you want after that. I had to say that, Summit. I apologize.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Hey, it's just, we're here
call
to
out
discuss.
Summit. Call him out.
I will.
You can call him.
will.
I mean, You're saying Ismail Cipe, but did you see that video? Apparently, he's shagging Kevin De Bruyne's girlfriend. So I don't know, man.
Ismail Cipe.
Yeah, I'll share that link. It's pretty funny. But now, Yasin, I want to hear you praise Ömer Bayram. Go ahead.
Impossible, bro. I'm trying to be
We didn't
optimistic
pay
here.
him enough to do that.
I'm not trying to lie here. Dude, Ömer Bayram, like, when I saw the lineup, I tried to make understanding of it. You know, he's Turkish. Van Aanholt is not exactly a priority foreigner player when we are limited. So it's okay to play Ömer. He'll put in a cross for, Mohamed. I tried to justify it, but you just can't. And he just gives you reasons every single game why he should not be justified.
And yet he keeps getting played.
Bruh, like that mistake, man. What are you, a ballerina? What is that? What is that motion that he's trying to control that ball with? Why is his hands out there? When you see what's a professional to you, look at Nelson. Every time this guy is going, head to head 50-50 and it's anywhere near the box, his hands are freaking tied behind his back so he can avoid that situation.
Man of the match.
Oof, man, this guy, man, every single position, 50-50 in the air, his head is there. The guy doesn't think, am I going to get my head, smacked? Is this guy going to run into my head? Am I going to get injured? No, his head is always there. If the ball's in the air, he's expecting it. He's doing something to head that ball out. I respect him so much. I'm so happy he finally got his goal too. I mean, I shouldn't say finally. It hasn't been like years or anything, but he's been deserving of it. He's a leader on the pitch, off the pitch. I feel sorry. Maybe we talked about it last week, but I think he closed his social media because of all the fans' reactions and all that. To see him be able to score so soon after a reaction like that, wonderful. Yeah.
I want to hear more from Maz as well. I want to hear what the Kangaroos think about today's game. Like,
about Ömer, right? That was the original topic.
Ömer. Where do I even begin? So, the goal not directly his fault, but he messed up there on the left side, and then lost the ball. And then Thailand, he decided to play American football and just held the ball. I don't know, bro. Like, it's the same thing every single week. This guy isn't a Galatasaray caliber player. I know Yasin mentioned
I don't think he's a caliber player for any team, bro.
Yeah, like week after week, like Yasin said, we're trying to justify why he's playing. Bro, like, just put anyone else instead of him. Any other Turkish, get someone from the youth, get someone else, bro. Get someone from the Birinci League, some random name we don't know. And that would be better. I don't know, bro.
Yeah, I've told this countless times, bro. He's not good at left back. If we have a left back, which is Patrick Van Aanholt, just let him play. I mean, we are already low on midfielders. Just let him play in midfield where
That's
he
my
actually
criticism.
I don't mind Ömer
understand.
Bayram in the midfield. Ömer Bayram in the midfield is not that bad. But Ömer Bayram in left back is the worst player in the league.
It's two coaches, Terim and Torrent, both keeping him
But Terim
there.
stopped with that. He didn't play him there ever again.
He did. Yeah, that's right.
No, he did still. At the
I
end.
think that was only because PVA wasn't available.
No, he was available. He just started benching him. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that's
Okay.
All right, so
I have to make a quick comment before I forget for Summit again.
Oh
Talking
my
about
God.
other teams. So what did you guys just say? Maybe we should find a youth player. That's what Fenerbahce just did this weekend. They left.
Come on. This guy's not a Galatasaray supporter, I'm telling you.
They've been searching for a left back all season, playing Ferdi, playing Novak time to time, and it hasn't worked. Last game, they played this kid, Çağatay Kurakalıp, 19 years old, has been on the bench all season. And listen, maybe Giresunspor didn't play their best game, or no, Hatay yesterday, but the kid did a solid job. It shows, okay, if you're out of options, if you don't have anybody that's really convincing, why not give it to a guy who's absolutely free? He's young and has future value for the team, the club. He's done, he's been at your club for a long time. Why not give a guy like this a chance? So I would love for us to see and do a similar implementation, I guess in the summer. Maybe it's too late now. But we have I think Suleiman. I forgot his name. We have a right back.
Lush.
Yeah,
something
was
like
he
that, right?
was he a left back or right back? I forget. But
He was left back.
left back.
yeah, there you go, bro.
Okay.
Try this guy out next year.
Well, I
so.
think we should sell Yasin to Football Alla Turca or something.
What is this, free sponsorship for them now? But I didn't go that far.
What's going on? What's going on? Wait, where is Suleiman
don't-
now? Anyway, is he a Bandermaspor or something? He's on loan,
I
right?
think
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
Well, that's
We
a
discussed
good
he's
it.
loaned out.
We're
That's all I
just sending
know.
all our players away when we need them. Awesome.
I'm actually
Okay,
looking.
I
He's already
think-
got an assist.
Yeah. I
There
don't
you
know,
go.
man. Anyway,
There you go.
Maz, what did you think of Eric Pulgar? I know you have to go drop off your kangaroos to school. So before you go,
I'm just gonna track back a bit before I get on Eric. Our entire game plan was very defensive. You can see Thailand and Eric sitting very back in the, especially covering up the pockets. It was pretty obvious in the goal kicks, to be honest. When Pena was booting it down, you'd have like Momo at the top and then Babel just in the up front, and then everyone else is just kind of in the defensive line. Like we're parking the bus from like the second minute. Eric was really good. He was very dependable. He's where he needed to be. And after seeing Thailand for the past 6 months or whatever since the start of the season, I think Eric was really good. I think he's a type of player that we need. I think he's a type of player that we've needed for a long time, actually. I think he's gonna continue doing good for us. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Eric was good. I mean, you could take out Thailand and he would have been found like fine by himself over there. He would have done what he needed to do, and I think we would have had better opportunities going forward.
I don't know. I'm not convinced yet by Eric.
What do you mean? What are you not convinced of?
You love your hot takes, bro. You love the hot takes.
Hot
No.
takes, alright.
Bro, he's
No.
never convinced of anybody. Only the Dutchies, man.
He's
Come on.
not Dutch,
Have you
bro.
se-
His
Have you
positioning
seen
was
us play
perfect.
today? Have you seen us
I'm
play
just
today?
talking
That
about
wasn't on
Eric
the
and
plays.
his responsibilities, bro. What do you mean? It's you expect him to go and score a goal?
No, I agree
What
with
do you
Summit. I agree with Summit here. Pulgar wasn't good by any means, but he wasn't bad either. Like
He's solid. Like he just did his job. That's all I'm saying. I wouldn't-
Exactly.
He
just
did what he
his
needed
job, like,
to do.
yeah.
nothing else.
I did get a little bit of, it was nice to see a proper CDM. You see his body language, how he handles when a opposing player comes towards him. He always has his body in shape so the goal is behind him, so the opposing player can't just dribble right back by him and go straight to goal. That's one of the important things about being a CDM. Your back always needs to be towards the goal, so the player in front of you can't just go straight to goal. They have to pick a side, left or right. So whether he was helping on the right side Omar or the left side Ömer, he was always providing assistance to wherever he needed on the pitch. So I did appreciate that. But I would like to kind of, make a point about Goztepe too, and a criticism of Galatasaray at the same time. I think I touched on it briefly last week too, but Goztepe played like a team who has nothing to lose today. They were attacking often, they were pressing often. That exposed weaknesses in their back, but fortunately for them, we were not able to take advantage of that. But they attacked. They were hungry. They're playing at home, of course. That's a different story too. It helps out. But look where they are in the league. They're 16th, 1 point above Giresun, who is in relegation. If they won today, they would have went past us into 13th spot or 14th. So why can't we see that from Galatasaray? That's
the
where
thing,
I'm
though.
getting to, right?
Well, yeah, you're saying that they were hungry. Yeah, I agree. Are we not hungry for points either? We also that hunger that you saw today from Goztepe in the first half, I think it's more of us letting them play that aggressive because we didn't really have a counter to what they were playing, and they were very aggressive, and we were losing our 1Vs. They held on to the ball. They had more of the ball, man.
70%, mind you.
70%, brother.
Worst game we ever played.
It was very difficult to watch that game. I think it was Samet who said it earlier in the podcast, saying, or maybe Saleh, we tried to counter, maybe let them kind of attack, let them attack and then counter. But how are you gonna counter with a player like Babel on the wing?
Babel, I wanted to talk about that.
Yeah, he's going under the radar right now, and I think maybe a lot of fans are doing the same. we're focusing on Ahmed, or we're focusing on Thailand. But what did Bubba do today? I know
That's what I
Summit's
wanted
a
to point
fan,
out.
so maybe I'm directing the question towards him indirectly. But what
I'm
did
glad you
Bubba
did.
do today? Like,
So-
so Halil, before you take over, Emma,
Yeah,
I didn't
bro.
like Halil today. Halil didn't play the position that I expect him to play. You know, be that connection between our defense, or I guess our core, deeper midfield and our attack. He didn't really do that. He did look like a lost chicken today. I would give it another game or two to try out that position, because it's done wonders in the past where Mohamed and Halil played together. It didn't work today. Maybe because of Thailand. Maybe Thailand was,
We had no
the
midfield.
off piece. Yeah. But Bubba, I expect more from a player like him. Yes, we've been talking shit about him for quite some time. Yes, he's maybe washed out. Yes, he has 3 months and he doesn't care. But still, when you're on that pitch, you got to do something. And I hope Torrent sees that. I think I said the same thing last week, and we didn't see it this week. It changed. But next week, Emre Kılınç deserves that role. We can get into that for the second half talk.
Mhm.
But Baba, man, what did he do today?
Like putting in a shift should be the bare minimum you do when you play for Galatasaray. Like,
He never
if you
does.
don't even do that, exactly. Then just don't put him in. I don't know. I really start to wonder.
See, the thing.
What does Babel do to
Yasin
get
was
up
saying,
front? Yeah.
right? Yasin was saying, "Oh, PVA is not a priority foreigner, to get that spot. Why is Babel that priority?"
He shouldn't
Saying,
be.
"Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Ahmed is like horrible. I would never put him in that left back ever. And PVA is available. He's fit. If foreigner position is so important, why are you playing Babel when you could play Emre Kılınç, who's been in form, who's been doing great? Why are you playing? But what is this guy doing? He's not even like the right wing is not even his main position. It's usually the left wing. And you saw in a couple of times that right wing was so ineffective that he actually switched with Kerem to get some movement up there.
Yeah.
And then it was like you saw Kerem do more on the right than you said Babel did. So you could clearly see that Babel is a handbrake to this club, to this team.
Mhm. Yep.
What is he doing in these trainings that is allowing this guy to play with not just Teddy, who we criticize for playing him, and now it's Torrent? Like, what is this guy doing, bro?
Yeah, in all honesty, so to be fair, like Babel, I know I'm just kidding a bit, but nah, he's not good. That's for sure. But what I want to say mainly is I'm just speculating now. I think he's being chosen because he's a professional and he probably does what the coach wants. Maybe 80% of the time.
What does that drive us crazy? Yeah, definitely.
No, hold the ball, make sure he's at the defense. And today he's been helping defensively. I can say that because he was not on the right wing. He was more a fullback, if you ask me, from what I saw today. And I think he's choosing Babel over Morutsan because of that. And I said last episode, Morutsan can be a liability. Yeah, he has talent. He can go and do some flair, some magic, and get us goals. But he's raw talent and probably doesn't have that professional principles under his belt. And that's probably why he's not being chosen to play. With that said, why is Emre Kılınç not
That's what I'm saying.
That's the main point,
If
right?
you're going to play counter-attacking football, wouldn't you want fast players that can counter-attack?
Pace. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, see, I don't understand okay, defensive-wise, Babel, okay, but he can hold the ball, but what good is holding the ball if you can't attack and go forward, pass the ball?
I really hope that in a few months from now, we start seeing actually what Torrance wants to do and the players adapting to it. And so we have, like, I'm looking for that light Mazar was talking about.
At the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, I hope that comes. And I give him the time because this season is lost anyway. So let's see what we do with him in the summer transfers and then start off a new season. Oh, by the way, Mazar had to drop off his kangaroos to school. So he's left us by now. He just texted me. He's apologizes for leaving. So it's just the four of us. But yeah, I think we should go on and discuss a bit more on the second half and maybe up top when, Momo and Gomis. Salih, what did you think about Momo and Gomis?
Yeah, I mean more the sub when it was made. or
either player and the sub, just in general.
Just in general. I think Momo did okay with the amount of times he had the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I don't think he played bad. It's just that like the first half was shambolic in general, so I don't want to put it like specifically just on him. I do have to say though, by the way, now it does remind me of the yellow card, which I found very bizarre that he got. Or I shouldn't say very bizarre, kind of harsh is probably a better word.
For blocking the keeper.
Yeah, but
it wasn't really blocking.
The thing is, it wasn't really blocking. Like, I've seen refs give yellow cards for these type of fouls, but usually it's when you like are right in his face, and I don't think
or if
Momo
you like
really
shoulder
did
him
that.
or something, make contact.
Exactly. Anyway, I think Momo did fine for what he could do with the ball, honestly. And Gomes, I think Gomes, when he came on, he's
so
okay.
slow. He's so slow.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
37. Bro.
Yeah, that's also true. Like, I think when he came on, he was just okay. But after we got our pen, right, and he scored that one in, by the way, that pen was also really horrible. I thought the keeper was saving that because the ball went in so slow that I thought the keeper got it, Irfan Can. Luckily for us, it went in. But after that pen, I did see a pretty hungry Gomes. He started running quite a lot. Yes, he's not the fastest, but he started pressing and running way more. And then the other position came where there was another penalty call, right? For what was the defender called again? Dino Aslanagic, I think, for a handball. He should have finished that, by the way. Anyway, that one gets cancelled. And then in the other pen that we get from Emre Clinch's position, after which he did the lion celebration towards the Goztepe fans, which was pretty funny.
He got a yellow for that, right?
Yes, he did get a yellow for that. Again, that's kind of unnecessary, but okay, oh well, you know. He got it. Yeah, exactly. It was a very bizarre game. Like, considering there were 5 goals, of which 4 were penalties, very different game. Not to get too off track, I think Gomes did fine for what he had to do. He was just there. He didn't play bad necessarily. He did what he had to do. He scored 2 pens, which I was afraid of because I rather had someone like Chico take it. But, you know, he took it, netted it in, and got us the 3 points in the end. That's
I guess that
all
counts.
I had to say. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. If you are in this situation, wouldn't you want, your best penalty taker to take the pens? It's also like a decision I don't understand why Djigel Dao's not taking these pens. That's just personal thought, personal opinion, but I
when
agree.
When we say take our pens, like the first penalty goal, I believe that's our second penalty that we've actually netted in this season, and then the third one is our third. So Chico Dao is, I guess, sort of our main penalty taker while having scored 1. But yeah, I do agree on that. I was also kind of confused on why Gomes took it.
It might also be you never want a cold player that just got in the game to take a penalty, right? That's what a lot of trainers and coaches say. And Gomes was already there, and he's the main striker of the team now. So in that perspective, it made sense to me. If Chico Dao was playing all game, sure, I'd say he should take the pen because he's warmed up, he's been in that game, and probably the best man to take it. Unless Torrent said, Gomes, you are the penalty taker now. So I think those mainly. How many penalties was there? I mean, I don't think I've seen any
4
good open positions, plays, goals in this game. So we had
other than
4
the free
penalties.
kick.
But even that's not really open play, right? That's still, from a dead ball movement, from set piece, basically. But it is true, like, what you do say, it is true, because even in the first half, when we didn't have the ball at all, Goztepe never really got super close. I mean, they did, have a few shots on goal, but still, I never felt super threatened, even though they had the ball that much. That's also reflected in, I know Emre's not the biggest fan of XG, but their XG was, besides that penalty, was like 0.15. That's really low. So basically, the quality of shots
Our
they took.
center backs are OP. That's why.
That's also true.
Yeah. Marcao and Nelson.
Just
They played a
bizarre
great game
in general.
Yeah.
We
went
I don't
from
know if Yasin has to.
Yeah. We went from XG King to XG Peasant, basically. Yasin.
I was just planning to continue the Mohamed Gomis conversation. I thought Mohamed is fine today. Surprisingly, I guess not so surprising, but his SofaScore rating was 7.1, which was the second highest on the team that started. The issue again today, poor Mohamed always has this problem, but the ball was not coming to him. So he really could not do much. I remember early in the first half, he was hustling. He was making challenges where he needed to be. He won a corner kick. I was impressed with that. You can only do so much as a striker when you're not getting into positions. So it's hard to judge Mustafa much today, but he tried the right things. He tried to make passes. When Gomis did come on, Gomis was a little bit more fortunate where the team was attacking as a whole more often. So he got into more of those positions, more of those touches outside the 18 where he could try and take a shot or try and make a pass. He was on the field when we got the 2 penalties. So how convenient for him to be able to score the 2 goals and kind of be the man of the show today. But I can't really comment on whether I agree or disagree with one of them starting over the other today, or I can't really say one was poor and one was great today. I do want to touch on Emre Kılınç, though, if that's fine with you guys, if I can transition into that.
Before you do, let me ask you a quick question. Who would you rather take penalty, Gomis or Momo, if you had the option? Who would you rather take it?
They're both on the field at the same time?
Yeah.
That's tough, dude.
Gun to your head. Who takes it?
I would not choose. I would let them choose between themselves and say, okay.
You're boring, Lan.
I'm boring, but that's also true. Like, in these major tournaments. Momo?
I would choose Momo.
I would choose Momo too.
Momo, he's our future. He's ours. We got to make them score those goals. And he has a banger foot on the right.
But
yeah.
The thing is, though, contextually, right? Considering our position, I wouldn't let take Momo because he's a younger guy.
Yep.
He probably would be more influenced by the emotions, and he did miss the crucial pen against Beşiktaş as well.
Yep.
Like, this is another very crucial pen. I would rather let Gomis take it because of his experience, even though his pen record maybe wasn't the best.
Yeah.
Considering our position, it makes sense.
Yeah. That's why I was confused.
And also, and also if he would miss, I think he could also deal with the criticism more easily.
Yep.
Because, I mean, to be fair, he's 37. He probably doesn't care as much as Momo. He still is he still has a future ahead of him, while Gomis is, in a way, finished, you could say.
This guy's so rational, man. He's still
well, imagine if Momo scores, right? That whole, mistake that he made against Beşiktaş might just disappear. And he's like, oh, I just saved my team from losing more points in such a crucial position. It goes both ways.
For sure.
True, but then I would say that, let's say we were, 2-0 ahead. Okay, let him then take the third one. Then, it's fine if we maybe miss it, but not when it was, what was it again? I think we were actually behind when Gomis took it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's what I would do. But
you were saying something about Emre Kılınç, and I'm actually interested to hear that.
I thought he was great when he came on. I think he made a huge impact. I think it was Salih saying how many open plays did we get into positions from. I think Emre Kılınç was a part of at least 2 towards the end of the game.
Exactly. Thank you.
Beautiful. That was great to see. That last penalty, that's because of Emre Kılınç. He won that penalty, and we won the game because of him. You're not going to see Babel take that ball, sprint his ass off to that side and try and make a cross and want to foul in the process. Babel, he's going to square up with the ball between him and a defender and have a conversation before he does anything. Like, you're not going to win penalties. You're not going to get into positions like that. That's why I did like Emre Kılınç. Would I have preferred he started today? For sure, but it was kind of a question mark because he was sick last week. So it's natural to be like, all right, maybe he's not 100% fit. But going forward, that man needs to play. He's not only Turkish, but he gets into those positions. He's a left-footed right winger. Like, he can play that role. He can dribble inside and shoot. He has a great shot if he's on his day. He knows how to go down the right wing and put a cross on with his right foot, like the last position. He's a threat. Yes, he has his flaws, but I loved Emre today.
Whoa. Back up there.
Not Halit. Don't get excited now. I meant Emre Kılınç. Yeah, I would love for him to play going forward.
The stakes out.
Emre Kılınç and Cica, when they both came on, I would say even a little bit of Berkan as well.
Yes.
Game opened up a lot.
Yes.
You could see the two defensive midfielders weren't working even up until that point. Just nothing was really going on. And then they come on, and then bam, you see movement in the midfield going forward. We were able to push up with the ball instead of just yeeting it up the field.
Yep.
String two passes together and move up the field. And then Gomes is very fortunate because for Momo, that was not really happening.
Mm-hmm. Let's maybe some final points to share before we go to the next segment, which is the Rizespor match prediction. Man of the match, for me, it was Nelson. Yasin?
Nelson was great, but I have to give it to Gomes for finishing those two penalties. Even though I was not a fan of the way he finished it, he took that leadership role and finished the penalty, got us the win.
Emre?
I think I'm going to go with Nelson too. He bossed that defense.
Yeah.
Won almost every aerial duel, and he scored the goal for us.
And you, Salih?
Yeah, I would have to go with. I mean, in my opinion, there were three good players: Emre Kılınç, Gomes, and Nelson. But I'm gonna go with Gomes as well, just because we were behind.
You just like
all the pressure.
Black
and
guys.
I mean, we won the game. No, but like for real, just like Yasin said before, I did watch the first pen. That was so bad. And then the second one, I didn't want to watch. I still did. And to be really honest, that was also a very poor pen. We were just lucky the keeper didn't choose a side, because if he did go the right way, he definitely would have caught that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to go with Gomes. I think he did well.
Okay. Well, we'll check with the guys who their man of the match was in the chat. Rizespor next week. That's we're gonna play against Jetson, so it's gonna be interesting.
And
so let's give our predictions. Or maybe before we check our predictions, who won last week's predictions? I think it's only
one
two
person.
guys.
No,
No, it's Yasin said 2-1 win, and Salih said 2-1 win.
Yes.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go. First points. Okay, from
Mazar
now on,
was
win
close.
every game.
Mazar was 2-2 draw, and the rest was 1-1 draw. So good, optimistic, good guys. And
good for you guys.
Yeah,
good for us, not for you. Just good for us.
no, I'm happy with this. I don't care about that point between each other. So Rizespor, let me start with John from Toronto. He's not
nobody
here.
cares about. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but I did ask him in chat, and he says 2-0 Galatasaray at home. We're gonna kill it. That's good. That's optimistic. I'll give mine. I'm gonna say 4-1 win for Galatasaray. Oof. We're gonna shove that contract up into Bülent Korkmaz's mouth. And we're going to take a good streak and finish off the season well. How about you, Yasin?
Rize is in not good form. They've lost 2, tied 2 in the last 4 games. They are going to come with that relegation pressure. They're going to want to win, especially against Galatasaray. They're going to have incentives. It's going to be tough, but I think we'll break through with 1 or 2 goals. So it'll put them down. We'll win 3-1. The end score again. I'll predict 3-1.
Nice. And we don't care about Emre, so I'm gonna ask you, Mazar, who left. Mazar actually texted me as well, and he says 2-1 win for Gese, so I just note that for him. Mobster Emre, chief editor, what's your score?
I think we will win, but I don't think we'll win by 4-1. Thing is, we have a hard time creating positions as it is, but I think we'll be better next game, hopefully. And I think we'll win.
Mhm.
I think by like 2 goals, at least 2 goals. I'd say 2-1, max
Okay.
3-1. Because we haven't had a clean sheet yet, so we're always gonna concede for some
Is
reason.
it 3-1
No.
or 2-1?
I'm gonna say 2-1, but we
Okay.
will win.
Okay, our most rational professor, historian, doctorate, PhD, Salih.
Sende.
Söyle.
I'm gonna say 3-1 as well. No clean sheet. We just can't seem to keep a clean sheet.
Mm-hmm.
And we're playing at home. We're playing against a club we all hate. So I'm sure we'll win, and by a good margin as well.
Yeah, I'd
3-1.
love to be at the stadium for that game.
Definitely. And also, look, you guys said, or Samet said, Riz are in poor form. Hey, we're in pretty decent form, right? We won
Undefeated.
1 game, 2
Undefeated
draws.
in 3
Exactly.
games. Let's fucking go.
Bro, let's go. I mean, we're going for the left side of the table now. Definitely.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for coming together today, as usual. It's enjoyed a lot with you guys discussing this stuff. So, also thank you to our listeners who've been patiently listening to us, who we all love, and I guess it's time to say goodbye. But before we say goodbye, go to Twitter or Instagram and follow us. You can find us on the handle at DLionsDenGS. And, well, we interact there. And, well, the more followers we have, the better. Trying to really make a community for Galatasaray in English. And try to give you these weekly episodes. So I hope you all enjoy. Wish you all a very good evening, good morning, or good night. And that's it for today, folks. Bye.
Yeah.
All right. See ya. Thanks for having me.